Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back in the game. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, no matter where you are and what you're doing. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. BK actually beat me to my own chat room to put that up. And I always appreciate him making it a point to remind me, to remind everybody that the reason this channel has grown so well and become so successful is because you have been doing that. That is to say, don't stop. Share this on your Facebook or on your Twitter. Send this to somebody and say, hey, give this guy a chance, watch his videos, give him a month, and if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, but most people stick around. So, I haven't talked about this COVID thing in a while. And the concept of vaccines has only come up a couple of times during some of my discussions. But I want to tell you what my life experience as a world traveler has taught me about vaccines, travel, and all that other good stuff. Here's the dirt. Every country already, hey, good evening, Matrix Escape. Every country right now already has a list of vaccines you're going to get, whether you like it or not, in order to go to their country. It doesn't matter whether you're pro or anti. Doesn't matter if you believe vaccines work or don't. Matter of fact, that's not even what we're going to talk about here. What we're going to talk about is what does it look like for you when you've made the decision to see the world and you're confronted with going to a country that says, in order for you to come in, you must have a COVID vaccine. See, I don't see any country that I'm familiar with, and let's just take the two I'm most familiar with. I'm a permanent resident in Brazil. Okay, you guys know that I live here, I have businesses here, and I'm also an American. I don't see either one of those countries even hinting at or attempting forced vaccinations for people under the COVID virus. I am pro-vaccinations. I've seen that vaccinations are legitimate. But I also know that people have reservations about whether or not they should do the COVID test. Now, some people say, depends on what country the vaccine comes from, legitimate. Some people say, I don't like the timetable that this has been done, legitimate as well. But what you can't do is dictate to someone else in their country what the rules are going to be in order for you to get there. Now, why do I say that? Because this is important. I say that because if you are someone planning on traveling, if you are planning on going anywhere over the next, I don't know, let's say in the next couple of months, I have no idea. That's the point of this. If you're planning on going anywhere, you should go now. If you're planning on going anywhere outside your country, particularly if you're planning to live abroad, you've heard me say this before for different reasons. Don't wait. Don't wait. Because we may be that close to countries saying, listen, we can't tell the people who live here what they have to do. We can't go to somebody else's country and tell them what they have to do. But what we can do is say that if you're coming to this country, you must show us proof of vaccination. What happens when that happens? What happens when you, and to be clear, let me give you a reference point. Let me give you a reference point right now before I say this next part. First, I want to say good evening to Velak and thank you for showing up. Please share. Wicharad, yep, exactly. When going to India, I had to make sure I had chickenpox, measles, typhoid, malaria, and hepatitis A and B. We can debate whether or not we agree with those things, but if you're going to go to India, you're going to have those things. Done. It's like when you come to my house, you'll take your shoes off at the door, or you can just not come in. Now, I want to give everybody a reference point to what I'm going to say next, because I know it's going to come across as harsh. First, everybody feel free to join me on LinkedIn. This is my professional web. This is where I am professionally. I'm going to put me professionally. Here's the trick. Everybody knows I run an expat relocation services business. what I do is help people come to Brazil, get their visa, residency permit applications done, processing Brazilian identification documents, a bunch of stuff like that, with another chapter coming up soon anyway. We got more stuff that we're adding to that list as soon as we can get this ball rolling. Most of the people that call me, or normally they'll send me a message or an email saying, here's my number, can I talk to you about what you do? I'm thinking about coming to Brazil. I give them a ring, say, hey, this is Wateef. We talk about what I do. I introduce them to my staff and we get the ball rolling. And then they say, I want to wait a little while. And I say, oh, I understand. Well, listen, is it a matter of you need to get your passport updated? No. Oh, are you waiting until you get enough money for that 6-month nugget that I suggest people have when they come to Brazil of living expenses? That way they don't have to worry about anything. No, got plenty of money. Well, if it's not your passport and it's not your money, and my team is here to help you with the paperwork, what are you waiting for? I'm just waiting for, the right time. All that notorious, the right time. There is no right time. There will always be a reason for you to not do it. But now I'm trying to motivate people. And normally you all know I'm a huge advocate for Brazil. Ride or die. If you are waiting for the right time, it may not come, but the wrong time could definitely come. The wrong time could be when the political situation pops up and they say, you know what, we're going to now mandate that people all have this vaccine. Now you're stuck in a situation where you might have to get a vaccine that you don't want for you to go to the countries you want to live in and leave the country you don't want to be in. Now you're mad, looking crazy, trying to talk your way out of it and writing governments, and I don't think you should make this mandatory, and then they just look at your letter and throw that in the pile of junk that they're going to all burn tonight because nobody cares. You're not a citizen of their country. It's a privilege to go to someone else's country. I'm a guest of the country of Brazil. I wasn't born here. Am I here legally? Absolutely. Am I a permanent resident legally? Absolutely. But I'm still a guest here. When they come up with new rules, I get two options. I can comply with the new rule or I can just leave. There you go. He said, exactly. Hey, good evening. It's good to see you back, brother. Thank you. And so that's why I want to get to this part of, I want to reiterate, if you're planning on going someplace, for the sake of the travelers and the expats in the room and the people who aspire to be as such, let's not worry about something like the politics or if vaccines are good or bad. Let's worry about whether or not you're going to have to do it if you want to get out, and why you might want to seriously consider getting out now. What did Vlog say? I'm literally working every day because I see this coming. I was looking at February, but now I may have to be out before January. Talk to me. I'm here. By the way, I'm going to show you something that, that just came across my news feed earlier. I don't know when the article was written, but we're going to find out. Right now, you don't just have to worry about the countries making a decision. Right now, you've got to worry about airlines. Which airline is it? I want to say it's Qantas. There is an airline right now that is flat out saying, yes, when things get back to normal, whatever normal is going to be for you, I can't find it, airline COVID vaccine. Excuse me. Okay, here we are. Let me share this screen with you guys so we can all see what I'm talking about. BBC News, a reputable news source, as reputable as can be in these times. Do I trust any news source? 100% no. Do I trust any news source? 50%? Probably not. Vaccination will be required to fly, says Qantas chief. Qantas is the Australian airline. I lived in Australia for a while. International air travelers will in future need to prove they have been vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to board Qantas flights, the airline says. Now, This might not be the only one, just the first one. Now you've got Qantas saying, if you go to our country, or not just our country, any place that we fly, you're going to have this vaccine. By the way, this was put out 5 hours ago. Do you think the other ones are going to have to fall in line? Do you think there aren't going to be other ones that look at it and say, better safe than sorry? So now what happens when that simple flight that you were taking from the US to Mexico, your buddy in Bali is going to Malaysia? What happens when, even for those small flights, the little 2-3 hour flights that aren't these big international deals, what happens when they say, oh no, you can't get on our airplane? And by the way, do the people watching this know that air travel is a privilege and not a right? Like, they're regulated by some certain government agencies, but there is no law that says anyone anywhere has the right to an airplane. Like, airplane companies could just be like, screw you guys, we're closing then. And I don't think that's going to happen, but we tend to forget air travel is a privilege that you can have revoked. Any airline carrier can tell anyone for any reason they don't want you. Of course, it's probably not going to be a reason they can get sued over. They're not going to say, hey, you with the weird religion I don't like, or you with the color skin I don't like. But what they can say is, oh, you don't have your vaccine papers to show us? Just like we look for your visa, your passport, compare the name, make sure the visa swipes through that thing to make sure it's a good visa to go to this country. Oh, you don't have an international, I've been vaccinated against COVID? Sorry, no. And no, you don't get a refund because it was in a small print. What happens when that day comes? What are you waiting for? You wait for that right time? I'm talking about a grander issue now. I'm probably going off of my soapbox. What are you really waiting for? Every day I talk to people from all over America and some other parts of the world, English-speaking parts of the world, about, I want to travel to this place. I'm just waiting for the right time. I want to do this. I'm just waiting for the right time. The right time is never going to come. But the wrong time, that could pop up real fast. When they start to dictate, we're going to add COVID to the list of things either the airline carrier wants or the things that the country you're going to wants. Because remember earlier, hold on a second. Where is it? When Yucharad said he went to India and he had all those things, what happened when they just add COVID to that list? Remember, every country has a list of things you're going to have to do anyway. But if you're not already in the country when they make that decision, the country that you want to go to, and I am probably talking to the people who really want that next level, who really want that I'm going to go, it can be bad. It can be real bad for you. I don't want to keep you here all night. I've got some things that I've got cooking that I'm going to share with you guys, hopefully right around Christmas time, maybe a little bit before. I've got a few other topics that have been brewing and a few other business things that I've been doing. The people who are here that are on my Patreon, actually, I'm looking at some of the names here, and it occurs to me that some of you folks came over from Patreon. If you don't know, I run a Patreon group, and Patreon is where I put a lot of the things that are 100% not so much fun. This is where we talk about business. This is where we talk about things that make us money. This is where we talk about a lot of issues that directly affect us. A disproportionately high number of the people on my Patreon are people who want their own businesses or just want to work for themselves. This is where we talk about how to do things like that. This is how we talk about how to get visas to travel. This is where we talk about all those things that are not necessarily entertaining. I am going to put the link to my Patreon in the chat. And by the way, there are people who need a lot of one-on-one. And for that, we do $100 per month for the arcane consultation. Outside of that, I'm looking forward to hearing from anybody who, if you have any questions about what else we do there, I'm fine to discuss that with you as well. But right now, we have a lot of people coming over from the Patreon group where I just got done doing a video talking about what we're doing here. So outside of that, I want to say thank you all for showing up. Oh, hey, the most benevolent king. I like that name. Salute to you too. Thank you for showing up. I don't know if you've been here to watch the whole thing, and if not, I want you to go back and watch from the beginning. But here's the not fun money business. Bam, I'm going to put that up there for anybody who wants to come in as well. Velok, let's talk soon. Let's talk soon. Outside of that, listen, thank you for popping in today. I've got some other things that are going to be coming up later on this week. I really enjoy having you guys here. I really enjoy being able to share the benefits of the things that I've done and seen. Well, what does Chris Tripp say? Those vaccines will change travel for sure. Most people will not travel anymore. I'll be in Brazil in February. Come to Rio for a few days. Let's have a caipirinha. Well, hey, listen, I'll come down maybe, but why don't you come to Sao Paulo? We've got more stuff. People don't really, a lot of people, they don't quite catch this. Sao Paulo has way more stuff than Rio. We can get into a Rio versus Sao Paulo battle anytime you want to, but we have art, culture, chefs from around the world. Granted, Rio has beaches. But in February, when you get ready, when you get here, we are definitely going to catch up. I don't drink alcohol, but you can buy me a freshly squeezed orange juice. What's the difference between the $10 and $20 Patreon levels? The $10 level is for people who simply want to donate to some of the things that I do, that I put up a lot of things that are sometimes free, a lot of information. For example, I did one that was very popular where I talked about mental issues, and a lot of people don't know where to go if they're feeling stress or pressure. And I put something out there for everybody to take advantage of. So that's something that is definitely going to be there. And the people who give $10 a month, well, they support those things. At $20, that's when you're getting almost all the videos. That's where you're getting those, point-by-point videos where you can still leave questions, contact me personally about what went on in that video, the technical aspects of. You also become part of our roundtable. Once a month, we all meet personally, online rather, and we talk about what we've been doing with each other. And at the $100 level, that's the people that need me to talk to them regularly. We do a little video, and we go on. I help them through certain things. If I wasn't clear, please email me. No beaches. Sao Paulo does have beaches, but not at Sao Paulo City. Definitely be in touch. And yes, he's trying to tell you, Chris, Sao Paulo is an amazing city. I'll have to do another highlight for Sao Paulo soon. Outside of that, listen, thanks again. I want you to share this, please, on Facebook or on Twitter. Tell your friends to give it a chance. I hope that this vaccine issue doesn't become any more derisive than it already is. And outside of that, I hope all of you have a great night. Please stay clean, wear your masks, do your social distancing, do all those square things that, let's just say they only work 1% of the time. That 1%, if everybody just behaves, I've heard, but I've never had to see it outside of, wow. First, you picked a great place to go. It's a great place, but I want you to see more. I've been to several places in Brazil, and I want to show you more. It has a lot to do out here. Oi, boa noite, querida. And outside of that, I'm going to let you guys go. And I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you.